today's not so critical update, we are going to talk about Google's new .zip and .wave top level domains. Peter shares his hot take going against the industry.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a big deal. Anyway,
a
couple of things though before you get into the episode. First of all, John's still not with us. He's not going to be with us until the next recording session, but don't worry, he's still around. He's not going to be one of those like co-hosts that just mysteriously disappears. Yeah, or who knows. Second of all, thank you so much everybody for subscribing. We really appreciate it. We're getting close to 500, which is an exciting event for us. Obviously, we're just still amateurs in the whole game, but it means a lot. So please do subscribe if you haven't. And enjoy the episode.
Enjoy the episode. Last week, the story came out about Google launching their .zip top-level domain.
Yeah.
And lots of the analysis was that this is a really bad idea. But we're talking about it because Peter Lowe, for some reason, is not on board with that, has a different take. What's your take, Peter?
All right. So let's just explain the situation. Normal domains have like .com and .org, and we know about them. We know all about them. These are called top-level TLDs, top-level domains. And Google have now made it possible. They've registered the TLD.zip. So that means you can register domains like hello.zip and mydomain.zip and example.zip and whatever. The reason that this is a potentially bad thing is that there is a lot of software out there which automatically converts normal text into hyperlinks. So you might be reading like Twitter, for example. You post on Twitter, and if you post example.com, then even if you don't link it yourself, that will become a link, or Slack or some chat software, that will become a link. So you don't mean it to be a link, but it will become a link in the final message.
Slack does that all the time, and it annoys me because we sometimes communicate about customers by email address, and it'll create a hyperlink of the email address when we don't want to email them. We just want to identify them.
Yeah.
It's a real hassle.
So what can happen is, what theoretically the danger that people have pointed out is that so you'll send an email and you'll mention a file, something.zip in it, and then it will become a link. And then the person who receives the email will see that link and click it. And the person who's registered the domain of that file name could be a malicious actor and start to a download to a piece of malware, which is actually a .zip file. And it's a concern because this wasn't the case before, and people might innocently go to sites that they didn't mean to, or weren't intended, that the user wasn't intending them to go to. And it's a kind of like drive-by malware attack, really. You go and register, I don't know, financial statement.zip, and that so this is the example. Somebody's actually registered financial statement.zip, and they are saying that this is a bad thing. And a lot of people are saying, this is so dumb, this is such a bad cybersecurity issue, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of outrage, and they think it's going to be a cybersecurity apocalypse. So I don't actually think that in practice this is going to be such an issue.
Really?
I think it might be a bit of annoyance. And there might be, I know that I've heard that some people are using it already for phishing domains, which I get. That seems expected. But also, like, if you click a .zip file and then go to a phishing domain, that doesn't seem like it's actually any more of a problem than any other
opening
domain.
The infected attachment if it was an actual zip file.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the danger, it's not like I send you financial statement.zip and it's an infected attachment, right? That's bad, but that's not different to how it is at the moment. It's not like I will be mentioning a file name called financialstatement.zip in my email to you, and then it turns out to be a link. You click it, download that, thinking it's from me, and actually it's a virus. I mean, I can see that it would happen, and I don't think the chance is zero. I just don't think it deserves the hullabaloo that has been happening. That's all.
I think what I dislike most about it is that it's unnecessary and confusing. We have there are lots of different kinds of file names. Some of them are largely arbitrary and don't mean anything except for the program that needs them, but .zip, .wave, .xls, .doc, people know these. They have meanings, and now here Google's just saying, we'll just do whatever we want.
Well, it's not okay. There's a mix between ICANN and Google. So ICANN are the people that's kind of the arbiters of the TLD rules. And a long time ago, there was only .com, .org, .net, and the country ones. And then they decided to open up this program called GTLDs, which allowed all these other crazy ones like .brand and .esquire and all sorts of really wacky things. So someone pointed out that there's a whole ton of other domains that exist that so .build, a common file in software is makefile.build. There's readme.md, which is a valid domain. There's ASP.net, which comes from fucking Microsoft. Command.com even, which is a kind of Windows command file. There's exe2bin.com, configure.sh, mysql.cf, libc.so. These are all a common file.
They are all also things that tech people will know about, but not things that normies will know about, where .zip and .xls and .wave real people actually use, not just geeks like us.
As a side note, one of the ones that really annoys me is .in, because there's so often people forget to put a space between a dot and then the beginning of the next sentence, and they link to so that's it, in. And then it gets converted into a link, which annoys me. I see it a lot for some reason. Yeah, look.
It's not a huge deal. It's like you said earlier. I think it's just annoying and inconvenient. And
yeah,
can they do it? Sure. Is it making the entire internet less safe? Probably not, but they shouldn't do it. It's just stupid.
A lot of people would disagree with you. I got an email from someone who is a DNS expert, and hi Swapnil, if you're watching, by the way, and he operates a passive DNS service where they kind of collect DNS traffic from all sorts of different sources. And he said that people are going to these domains, but I think most of them are like bots and crawlers and not actual victims who are mistakenly clicking on something they thought was an attachment.
But also, like you said, whether they click something they shouldn't click in its attachment or it's a malicious site, does that really matter? They shouldn't have clicked it in the first place. The problem is they're clicking it.
Right. Oh, but I mean, as you pointed out, very often people are not the most savvy when it comes to...
no, that's what I'm saying, though. If you send somebody an email that says click this attachment or click this link that looks like an attachment or this attachment that looks like a link or whatever, is one worse than the other? They're still going to click it. They're still going to get infected or accept whatever malicious payload. Does that make anybody more unsafe than if I just click the old fashioned actual zip file that's infected?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's such a... I think there will be an occasion which will disprove this. There will be somebody who got an innocent email that saw a link, and in the context of that, it seemed like something they should click, and it was malicious. And the thing is that when you set up the domain, it has to download that file, right? So the root of that domain, you go to filename.zip, and then you go to that, and instead of loading a web page, it has to download that file. So they're going to be pretty easy to discover. You just go to a random.zip domain, and if it downloads a .zip file, block it, right? It's not it's pretty suspicious behavior. Yeah. So yeah, I just think in the real world, the actual number of cases where someone's going to get exploited from this are going to be quite small.
Now, I guess in a way you actually could have an additional layer of protection, because if you send me a compromised attachment and I click it, I'm just opening that file on my computer. If you send me a link to a file or to a malicious website, potentially I could have DNS filtering of some sort that actually blocks me from accessing that, because it recognizes maybe I'm using Peter Lowe's add-in server tracking block list and this particular .zip domain is on it, then I could get that annoying block page instead of actually getting infected. I don't know which is worse.
That annoying thing that you asked to have happen, that you installed software specifically to show up when,
I wanted to block the things that I wanted to block, not everything. Right. I don't understand what's so complicated about that, Peter.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that annoying thing that comes up sometimes because all right. Because I don't want.
You should know if I'm doing it on purpose. You should know the difference between that and when I'm doing it by accident or when I'm not. Don't want to do it.
If that ever happens, just send me an email. Just send me an angry email, and I'll fix it for you.
Response.
Oh God, please.
Do you want to just give everybody your email now to save time, or
but no, it's I will. It's pgl@yoyo.org. I get enough emails anyway, so come on, bring them on, guys. I've never hid my email address.
So let us know what you think of this controversy or controversy, as Peter might say.
Yes, this controversy. Do people still disagree with me? I'm sure you still do, and I haven't convinced people, but
I disagree with you. On what point?
Just on principle.
Yes.
I think.
I do, but on a specific topic or just in general? Yes.
Yeah.
The answer's yes.
Yeah.
All right.